right, folks, we're back. Second episode of this amazing podcast. I have the one and only, the great Emily. You know, what's interesting is two other people were supposed to join us today, but they could not make it. But whoever was meant to make it is here.
What's happening is happening. It's meant to be.
Yes. And first and foremost, shout out to Ferdevs for helping set this up. So now we have a production crew.
We have a full-on team.
Full-on team. And if you watched our other episode, I want to say thank you because we've been getting some great feedback. We're super psyched. We have so many different topics that we want to talk about. We have guests lined up that want to attend this podcast. If you want to be on this podcast, or if you know anyone that should, hit the comment or share, let us know, because we're open to it. We want to have an open dialogue about anything, starting with social dance.
Yeah, and bring, all of your vulnerability, because I think you'd be surprised at how many people really resonate with your story, and anything that you want to get out there is needed by so many people. So
yes, yay. I want to start by also acknowledging you, Emily, because it's interesting because I did the 111-day challenge for YouTube, as you know. For those that don't know, I put myself in a position where I was having to record, edit, upload videos for 111 days straight, because one of my mentees, whom I gave the challenge to, gave me the challenge back, and I naively accepted. But the beauty of that is that this group came out of it, this YouTube and content creation accountability group that gets together once a week, and now this podcast. So you never know, if you put yourself out there, what it can lead to. So I just want to acknowledge you because, one, you made last week's podcast incredible. How amazing is her accent? How amazing is her energy? How amazing is, her sharing herself? Like, oh my God, it was just me and Mike. It would be awesome, but it wouldn't be nearly as awesome because we need a goddess energy. And ta-da, here she is.
You make everyone feel special, so we appreciate you. And this wouldn't be happening without you. So you bring everyone together, and you bring the best out in, I think, everybody in the room. So we need more Alis in the world, for sure.
Thank you, Emily. I really appreciate it. And I'm still reveling in last week's episode because, thinking of what we shared about Sazon,
Yeah.
And the feedback, I think it was Claudia called from Spain.
She called you?
Yeah, she messaged me. She's like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to Pedro. Can we come on your podcast? I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that the more we can bring the dance community together is, so good for everybody. I think especially with, people like Sazon and Claudia and Pedro, that's what they do for a living,
Yes.
They bring people together and they uplift people. So to have another platform where we can, for one, advertise people like that who are doing it, but also have another place where we can bring people who maybe aren't as known in the scene, to come up. And I was being messaged by people in London, this hits people everywhere, these stories and these the intentions behind what we do, not just on this podcast, but I think in life in general as dancers, it resonates with people all over the world. So I think it was needed, not just by us, but by so many people, because everybody has a story that they want to share. So let's just share them.
All right. So I have some ideas for today. We have no script. We have no written plan. But that's the exciting part, right? I do have a few ideas. Do you have any ideas? Because I'd love to.
No, I'm waiting for you to give me your ideas.
Here we go, girl.
Okay.
So I was thinking, let's give shout outs to some people that we haven't mentioned last week that
I love this.
mean a lot to our community.
Yes.
And just your heart wants you to give a shout out. So do you mind if I start?
Please do.
I want to give a shout out to Gary and Maya. Why? One, because after I did my 111-day video of Costa Rica, the 2.5-hour video.
Yeah.
Gary calls me up. He's like, I'm disappointed. I said, what happened? He goes, I watched the whole video and you didn't mention me once. I'm like, dude, I was in Costa Rica. I had nothing to do with dancing. But you know what? Gary does deserve a shout out, and so does Maya. These guys are a power couple that bring amazing artists. They've been doing it for years, long before I've been here. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the artists you bring here. I appreciate all the exposure you've given me to these amazing artists. And I appreciate what you do for the community. And I think that it's very easy for us to look, it's like if someone does 9 things right, but they do one thing wrong, guess what? People focus on the one thing that they did wrong. You understand?
So true.
And I'm like included in that, I do that too as a human being. I judge, I get upset, I make mistakes, all that, but certain people, they're just like the bedrock of the community, right? So I look at Cisco, for example, right? Who's been doing like DJing for so long. You know Cisco, right?
I do not, but now I do.
Dude, Cisco, DJ Cisco. Okay, you came to Saluna?
No, I've never been to Saluna.
You haven't been to Saluna? This Wednesday you have to come.
I train on a Wednesday.
Guys, in case you can't hear it, that's for Devs.
In the back.
She's too cute for the camera, so she's in the back.
Yeah.
But
One day I'll meet you, Cisco.
Yeah, so Cisco is this beautiful soul.
Come on the pod.
Yeah, come on the pod. Oh, I like that. Hop onto
You're
the
invited,
pod.
Cisco.
So yeah, Cisco is an amazing human being. I mean, we have so many beautiful, beautiful people in the community that really uplift the community, are really there. Okay, this man, he's been part of the community for a long time.
Okay.
And what's amazing about him is like, he works by day. He shows up to, for example, he was at El Rancho, he was at Toronto Salsa Fridays, he came to Saluna to DJ. He has his backpack, just came from work, you know what I mean? Exhausted, but he's putting on his energy to uplift everyone with his music, with his energy, and people come out just to see him. Like, that's the kind of guy he is, like he's very magnetic, he's very loving, and he gives a lot of love, and he gives safe space, especially to women, which I appreciate so much. I can't tell you how many women would go up and say hi to him at the DJ booth in El Rancho just because of the sweetheart that he is. Nothing else. You know what I mean? Like and it was like, who is this man? When I got to know him, I'm like, oh, I see why they love him. He's so lovable. And, it's just, I'm so grateful for him in the community. And frankly, like, there's so many more, but I want to hand it to you.
Yeah.
Who do you want to give a shout out to?
Well, I just want to touch on that subject real quick. Like, I just think I don't think you understand, like, men in general. Like, we were having this conversation before we started recording about how we all have our things, and like men, you said you didn't realize that women go through like the whole outfit drama of like, what do I wear?
Fill them in.
We're talking about the hardships that we go through as, well, not just women, but like men and women, whatever. And one of our ones was, what do we wear? Everyone there's like a bachata style.
I love how she says it.
Style.
What do we wear? If you say it like that, then you can wear anything. You could be in a garbage bag.
And like the pressures that like we put on ourselves.
Yes.
To look a certain way, or should I wear this, but like no one else is wearing this, or whatever it may be. I don't know.
Amazing.
The pressures that we literally put on ourselves. I think that one of the things that you said that men don't think that women go through that, or didn't realize women go through that.
I'm sure there are men that realize it, but I didn't realize it. Yeah. I thought I knew, but I didn't know.
Didn't know. It's drama, guys. Drama. So the other thing is like how much we appreciate as women those safe spaces. When you go to an event and you know that you can go up to the DJ and like it's a safe space, like it means a lot to us, And I actually had that, like, just going back on what you said, Gary, like one of those people for me. Gary and Maya were like some of my first people here who like really saw me. They really took me under their wing. Like Maya, like I don't know what I would have. And she really gave me a huge opportunity. She really saw me for like who I was. She didn't know me, but she just had a feeling. And
that speaks volumes, because she's seen so many amazing artists. She can tell in like a millisecond, okay, this person has potential, this person doesn't.
Yes.
I've seen her do it. I'm like, how does she know?
Yeah.
Of course, she's seen so many. She's vetted so many of them.
Yeah.
Like she has that eye.
She just has a really good intuition. Like she feels it out. And so, to me, that was an honor for them to like really see me. But Gary is just such a good person, you know. And whenever I go to his events, or whenever he shows up at DLX or whatever, like it's always just that feeling of like, he's such a, if you guys don't know, they run the SBK events and festivals. So
we should mention that.
I was trying to find them.
Yeah, so if you're on Instagram, if you're not in Canada or Toronto and you're watching from London or wherever you're watching, and you've seen Canada SPK all over.
That's Gary and Maya.
That's Gary and Maya. And they run the festival and they bring artists from like Europe. We have a lot of people from London coming this year. So if you haven't got your tickets, I want to get on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
this
are
has not
amazing.
been sponsored by them or
It's not, but like they
just
deserve.
from the heart.
Yeah, it's just from the heart, because they deserve all the shout outs in the world.
Yes.
But yeah, I think Gary is one of those. I know he's a family guy and he has a family, but like that energy is so appreciated. You know, when you create events or you create spaces, like you want people to come and feel safe, especially women and young women, you know, not just any woman, like any woman, like that. It's really appreciated by us as the female species to like
I'm
feel
so glad
safe
you said that.
and feel safe expressing ourselves. Like Gary, like he went in on me one time. He was like, "You just need to have fun," and I was like, "You don't like." But sometimes it's not safe to have fun.
Wow.
You know, sometimes it's not safe to express yourself in these environments. Like I've been to events where it doesn't feel safe to express yourself. You know. And
the challenges of women. Holy.
Yeah, no, truly, especially when you're around, you know, we're having the conversation last week on our podcast about, you know, leads or men or even women. I'm sure it's the other way around as well. I'm not going to, you know, say it's never women, but, you know, even if there's an environment of like insecurity or narcissism or, you know, judgment or tearing other people down, like we've all experienced that.
Or clickiness.
And I think, you know, when you have an event organizer or a DJ or somebody with, you know, a higher ranking at that certain event who's creating a vibrational place of security and love and acceptance, and, you know, they have a daughter, so they understand what it's like to raise a woman in this world. I hope, you know, they're such amazing people. But to walk into an event where it feels like love from the get-go. And like I know that I could go to Borough in the West and my heart would be full. You know what I mean? So it's you know, it's one of those things, like it's really appreciated in this world, like where we are training hard or we're going and we want to better ourselves, but to be able to walk into an event where you feel like you're at home, it means the
You're
world.
You're gonna make me cry because this is so beautiful, and I feel like it needed to come out. It reminds me of something. Am I cutting you off or
no? Please go.
So it's a true story.
Okay.
Gary, myself, and my partner, along with Hero and Migle, the first time they came to Canada, we took them to Montreal by road. Migle was sick, and Sherry and I, we were doing whatever we could as support. And I'm so grateful because Gary and Maya were entrusting us, right? Maya's like, just make sure Gary doesn't drive because he'll fall asleep. And, you know, when you arrive, just, you know, like, it was just, they take care of things like a tight ship. I love that. But a certain story comes to mind. There was a room that we got into that Airbnb that Gary had booked, but he didn't know, it didn't have a fire alarm. And when Sherry told him, it was like the middle of the night. We just checked in Hero and Migle. Okay, they're getting their much needed rest because they've been go everywhere. And, you know, and Sherry and I, you know, like, we're grown-ups and we get it. It's not about us, it's about the artists, and it's about making sure they fulfill their mission. But here, Gary's like, no, I'm gonna find you another place. Okay, middle of the night. And he, you know, he gets on the phone with the owner, finds another room. It turns out we get a really, really good room. But this is who Gary is. He cares for his people. He cares about people, period. And it's like, he's just like, there's like this saintliness in him, you know, like, I don't know how else to put it.
It's like a teddy bear. Like, I can't even, you feel like he's very selfless with the love that he cares for people,
And I resonate with what you're saying, even though I'm not a woman, but I feel the sense of love and comfort whenever he's in the room. Yeah,
and I think that when somebody brings that kind of, I want everybody listening to this who runs an event to learn from this, because this can, you know, be make or break for an event. I think sometimes there's certain energies that do not exist in their presence because of how it vibrates in the space. You know, I think this space is so filled with judgment, and it's so filled with all these different things, and you can be unorganized and you can make mistakes, and every single event's going to have their thing.
Yes.
But I think if you can execute on the thing that matters the most, which is how you make people feel, then it doesn't matter if
100%.
Things hit the fan and people miss their flights and schedules go haywire and
because guess what, it does
all the
every time without fail,
and you run out of water and
it's all coming back to us. This is our therapy session in case you guys haven't figured it out.
We're unpacking our trauma.
Tell me more.
But it's true, like, I think if you can really execute on making how you make people feel matters. You know, I used to think this in London all the time when I would get torn down or didn't feel welcome, or I'd like go home crying because the events were so unwelcoming, you know, like I would think the one thing that people are going to remember, it's not your dance moves, it's not how you moved it on the on stage, or it's not how many followers you have, it's not how many people came to your event, it's how you made people feel.
100%.
And performers out there, who cares if you mess up your footwork or whatever? It's, again, how you make people feel is what people remember.
Girl, this is so deep.
It's really deep.
I feel like playing it on repeat. It's how you make people feel that matters, guys.
You know, and I think Gary and Maya have they've been in the industry for so long. They understand it, and I think that's why they're so successful, is because they really understand, especially Gary, they really, really understand.
And he takes the time to explain. He's never rushed.
He's very present.
He's very present.
You can't always get hold of him. Yeah. But when you do.
Well, he'll say that about me.
But when you do get hold of him, he's, very, very present. And the same with Maya. When she entrusts in you, she really cares. Right. And they're just a beautiful family in general.
Yes.
And they do beautiful things.
And we are so grateful to have them doing what they do for the community.
Yeah, and I think as not just in the community, but as forefront leaders in 100%. The community. Yes. If we can all learn just a little bit from what they do.
Yes.
I hope it would be that, you know, as somebody new, I'm very new to Toronto, very new. So
how new?
Very.
Just last night?
Just last night.
On a boat? Your boat is outside?
So to be able to experience that is a blessing, you know, to have had that from the beginning, from the get-go.
Well, look at this. How beautiful is this, that someone like Gary and Maya, who's been in the scene for so long, okay, you just came, you're new. I'm also relatively new. I was born in Montreal, but I've been in New York for 15 years, so I'm new. But someone like Gary and Maya, they're like anchors, you know, you feel comfort, you feel welcome, you feel love, you feel like, okay, I can handle this.
Yes.
And that's me as a man, right? I can't imagine as a woman who has to worry about what I'm going to wear, what are people going to think, how are they going to look at me, am I going to be sexually harassed, you know, are my heels going to kill me tonight, you know, is my dress too revealing? I don't know what you girls think about, but I'm just guessing.
You did some great guesses. There was some spot on.
So, you know, I want to acknowledge you women, okay? Because I don't think you guys get that enough. Because as leaders, we come in there doing our moves, right? Mike said, patternitis. I gotta show off. Look at what I just learned. I saw Haro do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You know. But it's who the fuck cares? Excuse my French.
Truly, though.
Who cares? Are you present to? And I'm saying this to myself before I'm saying it to anyone else. Am I present to the person in front of me, the human being, the beautiful human being, who made the choice to come out? Okay. God knows what's going on in her life, or sometimes I dance with guys, his life. You know, and they made the choice to come out, okay? And I know when I was first starting out dancing in Toronto, I would cry myself to the socials and cry back because I was going through my own personal situations.
It's like me in London.
So you know.
I do.
And you'd be surprised. I bet you people listening to this right now have experienced the same thing. And, you know, and I don't blame you if you cannot say it publicly. It's something that I want to share because I want to let you know that if you've experienced it or are experiencing it, you're not alone. It's very normal because when you're going into social dancing, it's a lot of energy. A lot of people with their baggage, with their trauma, with their issues, with their life, okay, with work, with family, with divorces, with breakups, God knows, all coming together, okay, to forget about their life or to celebrate their life in this one momentous moment called social dancing. Right? So I just wanted to rant about that because it's such a beautiful thing for us as social dancers. I think you would agree that we have a place that we can go to regardless of what's going on in our life. That's almost like an escape, if I can say that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's without taking drugs, without, you know, getting drunk or, you know, doing anything that could be harmful necessarily to our bodies. We're, you know, the way I see it, it's exercise, it's socializing. We need human touch, you know. We're getting to heal ourselves, heal others, you know, that's a beautiful thing. Where do you get that? You know,
it is. It's, and I would also think as well to myself when I would be crying the whole way home. I always think about our bodies and how we, you know, we hold on to things, and if we hold on to emotions and anger and things, they store in different parts of our bodies. Yes. And I always think especially when you're dancing, you know, more sensual, Zuki, bachata styles, when you're moving your body in all these new ways, what are you releasing, you know? And no wonder it can be such an emotional, bubble of energy where you social dance, and if you're crying the whole way home, I think no wonder, you know, it's such a place where you're unlocking parts of yourself that you didn't even, like, so many people on that social dance floor had dreams when they were children of being stars, you know.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden you find bachata and it's like, oh, I can be a star again. You can, you know.
Yes.
But on top of that, you have all these layers of protection that all of a sudden you step on a social dance floor and everybody else is dancing, and all of a sudden you can be like, it's safe to express myself.
Yeah.
Like, what? And I think that alone can be
Very
the most
point.
emotional place to be, because
Yes.
all of those beliefs and all those thoughts and all those things you've been storing in your body, I have to get out somehow. And often that is the way they leave, is through tears, you know, through emotion and through whatever that looks like for you. So if you do cry the whole way home, know it's for a good reason.
Yes. And crying is not a bad thing, especially, you know, men need to hear this. It's a release.
Yes.
And I'm not just absolving myself for having shared that I cried a lot, but it's actually very healing, you know? And,
Yeah, so healing.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had this joke with Pedro because I like had a breakdown when I joined Sazon because it was like a lot, right? It's like a lot. Okay.
Yeah. Remind them what a lot looks like. 15 hours.
Yeah, like a
training
lot of that, like
a week,
a lot of hours. Like I have like 3 teams, so it's like
3 teams, guys.
Yeah, a lot of training. Anyway, whenever I thank Pedro, he says like, but we make you suffer. And I'm like, well, I only cry sometimes, so it's okay. It's only sometimes. But yeah, crying is healthy. You gotta like release those layers, because you can do everything. You can do it.
Yes.
You can go upside down and flip and all these things. You can. It's just you have a lot of layers that are telling you you can't.
I think I heard Oprah say it this way. She said, "You can do everything, not just all at once."
Yeah. Yeah.
Except you're doing it all at once.
I do it all at once, guys.
Because that's Emily.
That's me who I am.
We're not all superheroes like her, but you are amazing.
And I just cry sometimes. So.
Yeah. Like every day.
Okay. Honestly.
That's probably me.
Yeah, it's me.
Not every day.
Yeah.
But I had a good cry last night, actually,
I love
to
a
be
good
honest.
cry. I love, if we can normalize anything today, can it be like, go and have a good cry?
Yes. And be okay with it. Don't be ashamed about it.
Don't be ashamed.
You could be a guy, girl, alien, dog, whatever, a table. Just cry.
Just cry about it. And it will leave you. It will, and you will be a different person after you cry. Like after I had my breakdown, I was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was killing it in my workouts, and I was pushing myself. And
I have a whole playlist that helps me to cry fully.
Take it from him. Make a playlist.
Yeah, I have a playlist. So, you know, like maybe once a month I have to have a good cry.
Yeah.
It's so healing to me.
Maybe once a week.
Or once a week. Sometimes it's every day.
Yeah. Honestly,
whatever you need, right? Honor yourself.
There is a lot of mentors out there that will say, you know, it's healthy to do it every day.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know if you know Kyle Cease.
No, but sounds cool.
He's a great guy.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know him personally.
Okay. But if you're listening, Kyle Cease, just kind of shout out.
Yeah, he'll say like he'll sit inside like meditation and he'll cry every time he meditates.
Really?
Because it's like something coming up to release, you know?
Wow, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's like, I don't know. I need to feel it, and then the music kind of helps me get into my feels.
Yeah, 1,000%. And if you're social dancing, as well, and you're dancing with somebody that like you connect really well with, it doesn't have to be like on a romantic way or like anything like that, but just that you connect well with, sometimes that can connect you to a part of yourself that you didn't even like that part of you that believed in something once upon a time but then lost at some point, you know?
Yes.
And that can provoke a good cry.
Girl, that, you know, you're touching on so many things that are so deep. And it's like, I kind of want to dissect each one. I don't know if we have enough time.
This is what happens when you feel your feelings, guys. Like you just unlock so much depth and meaning to things. Have a good cry. Yeah. Because you will become a deeper person. Yes.
And what you're saying about the body, right? Like it reminds me of a book that a friend of mine recommended. I think it's like The Body Keeps Score. I don't know if you guys...
That's good.
You know which book I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I haven't read it, but I bet it's good.
Yeah, I've heard
a lot of girls have told me about it. They said it's amazing.
It's true. I've had a lot, like the whole year, my back, right? I've had a really bad back injury. I was hit in the head. Did I say this?
No, or maybe you did.
I think I did. That must have done. But at Sun Salsa, I was dipped and somebody ran into my head.
What?
Yeah, and it ricocheted down my back, like. So I still have it in the middle of my back somewhere. It's like.
Why do I hear of followers getting injured every week? It's a new follower. but like a crazy injury.
I thought my head was gonna fall off. Like it was.
What?
Yeah, it was because you full on cambrade, like full just like let.
What was it?
Let loose.
You were practicing?
No, it was social dancing at San Celso, like the know sensual days in Croatia.
And what?
And a big dance festival, like very busy. And right at the edge of the dance floor, someone was running past the dance floor and ran into my head in full cambray. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it was like fully relaxed, and then it was like full on whiplash. And
so how could that have been avoided?
The lead, bless him, if he's watching this, I don't even know if he'll remember this. It was a few years ago, but he was very apologetic. I just think you just gotta watch out for where you're dancing. Some things are unavoidable.
Yeah.
You know, I've like been cambrayed into somebody else's head before. You know, like the more you dance, the more stories you gather. Unfortunately, the running into my head did cause a ricochet of injuries for a good 2 years.
Yeah.
But I think just as a leader, like just be aware of your surroundings. Like, that's all I can say, and don't overdo it. Like this is the big thing. Like so many new leads, they see all these like YouTube demos and want to be something, and you will be something. I promise you will be something. If you want to be something, you will be it.
You already are.
You already are.
How about that?
You already are it, but you don't need to just be careful. Like look at your surroundings. Only dip somebody if you know how to dip them. Only do sensual movements if you know the technique.
Or ask, learn, And know that as a lead, you're responsible for your follower.
Yes. So it really depends on where you're dancing and how many people are dancing, and if in doubt, do not dip on the dance floor. Like that's one of the most vulnerable places your follow can be, because one, I'm fully upside down, kind of. Like my head is fully gone. Yeah, I'm like, yes, I can hold myself.
You're fully vulnerable.
Yeah, yes, I can hold myself with my back, but like I don't know, like my surroundings are not in my control.
Of course.
So
and you're trusting the lead to the space. You're trusting it all.
Everything.
Wow. Yeah. Girl, that's traumatic. After that, you still came back to dancing?
Yeah, I mean, I actually came to Canada right afterwards, and I was hiking, and that's when it like ricocheted down my back, like the injury, because I didn't get it seen to straight after. And that's one thing as well, like if anybody can learn from me, is if something does happen to you on the dance floor at a dance festival or something, seek help. Like go and see the people who were there, whatever. Like I remember like being a little bit like, I didn't want to be a problem, or like I didn't want to...
You don't want to complain.
Yeah, because everyone's having fun.
Debbie Downer.
And it's whatever. And I just remember being in complete shock. I remember like the whiplash, like it came on directly afterwards.
Holy.
When it like everything just like tightens directly.
Lord.
I wish at that point I had gone to see the paramedics.
Yes.
And like gotten help, because I wouldn't have continued to be doing crazy things afterwards, like continuing to die. It happened at the end of the dance festival, but like still the week after I went on a hiking trip, you know, and like if I had known, like I wouldn't have done all this crazy stuff afterwards, which caused it to like ricochet on my back and then cause like crazy back injuries or whatever. So yeah, like seek help, seek help, or to see a specialist, or like whatever it is. But what was your question? I forgot what your question was.
Yeah, my question right now is that how can we, as a community, create safe space, especially for followers, because they seem to be getting injured the most. They seem to be going through the most crazy stories that I keep hearing. I'm sure you know and you've been through. How can we create a better space? Like, if you're listening to this and you've been injured or you've seen someone injured, please comment, let us know. Like, what are your thoughts? Like, what can we do as a community? Because it's not just a her problem. It's just not a me problem. It's a us problem. Or it's a challenge, I should say, because I feel like it can be overcome. Like for me personally, as a leader, like I have to realize, right? Like when it's tight space, there's a lot of people, that I hold my follower closer, you know, and I don't do big moves. I try not to dip them, because I know that if I dip them, they can be hit. And it took me a while to learn that, if I'm being really honest about it, because in the beginning it was about like patternitis and like, let me show you what I know.
Looking good and
looking good and look.
And dips, they look good. Like cambrays, dips, they look like you know what you're doing.
Yes.
But it's not always safe.
Yes.
Like, and I think that's the big thing. And like what you just said is really, really important. Yes. Try to get over yourself from the beginning.
Get over yourself.
Is it like if you want to look really good, join Sazon. Okay.
Shit.
Join a
Are you
performance
sure they're not
team.
paying you? Like,
Join the
mention
performance
it again,
team.
you'll get a discount.
Yeah. Join a performance team. Like
But
that's,
seriously, Sazan is awesome.
Yeah.
There's so many great ones, but it's just they
Yeah.
just have so much heart and so much love, and the people they take on and who they become, it's really incredible.
Yeah, and you know, if you want to look really good, if you want to look a professional from day one, like join a performance team, join someone like Sazon,
Yeah.
or do a pro-am performance with Claudia or somebody else. You know,
Yeah.
pay them, and they'll make you look like a professional.
Yes.
You know, you will be a star
Yes.
if you want to be a star, but sometimes the social dance floor is not the place to really
Yes.
try to look like a star.
You know, it also reminds me of another shout out. This is Dance Connections, Tanya. You know Tanya?
Yeah. I
Oh
know
my
who she
God.
is.
This woman is incredible. She's real estate agent by day, amazing dancer and teacher by night, and then by weekend she's like a performing acrobatics, bachata, salsa dancer.
Yeah.
I still remember seeing her like flying through the air. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Her
I
performance?
do know who you're talking about, yeah.
Man,
But
did they put on a
again,
show.
like this is exactly, if you want to be a star, go this route.
Yeah.
You know, like go and do it. Like I promise you, if you dance in a studio with these people, you will find something within you that you didn't know existed. You know, you will be a star, and you'll be on the stage, and you can do
Yes.
videos. And a lot of these studios now even offer video projects.
Yes.
This is the place to go and do a cam break. You know,
Yes.
like do a full-on dip, learn how to do it, learn how to fly in the air, you know, do all those amazing things, you know, go to Dance Connection, like beautiful place to learn how to do it. But just be careful when you bring it to the dance floor. Like be careful when you come to the social dance floor. It's not always the place to practice it.
Yes.
There are places to do so,
Yes.
and maybe go to somewhere that's a lot more quiet, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, do
Like,
your
you'll
research
find
because there's
places,
so
yeah.
many teachers, there's so many dance schools. Don't get disheartened if the first one you go to doesn't match your vibe.
Yeah.
Because there's so many.
100%.
I mean, everyone has something different that they bring to the table, and they have a different vibe, different energy, and they're all great in their own way. You know, like
Yeah.
it's like Goldilocks. You just find the perfect one for yourself.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I think like I was thinking about this earlier because I was thinking about the differences between dancing here, like whether it's social dancing. Well, actually, I was thinking about social dancing here and social dancing in Europe, and just the competitiveness that has been birthed on that social dance floor.
Mm.
I think especially in Europe, I remember like people fighting for the cameras at
Really?
events. And the communities, as much as it's big and it's spread across European countries, the community is small.
Mm.
You know, you know the same people from like you
Right.
know everywhere you go, kind of thing. Yeah, and you know people fighting for the cameras, fighting for the fame, whatever that means, for fighting for like that space, you know, and to look good and to be this person or to be that person or to beat this person or whatever it is, and it's just like the pressure that doesn't need to exist.
Do
But
you
it's
see that
there.
here? Do you see that?
I think so.
Really?
Not, oh,
You
it's
see
not
people
as
fighting
big.
for
like it's not
camera?
it's definitely not like it is in the European communities when they have,
Really?
because even in London we have professional cameramen on the floor.
Right.
Like I've had people ask me, oh my god, how are your videos that you have from London so professional? It's because we literally have professional dance
Wow.
cameras on the floor, you know.
Amazing.
It's
a European thing.
I think so. I think it's just like become a cultural thing,
Wow.
you know. But I remember being at dance festivals in Europe and people are lining up and fighting for camera space, and you know, it's just a whole
But is
thing.
that how it works there? Because here the cameraman has autonomy. He just goes or she goes wherever she wants. No.
But I still think it breeds this air of like competitiveness sometimes. I don't really know. It's definitely not like it is in Europe. You have social dance stars there. Like we have stars of the social dance floor, like for sure. Like absolutely.
Man, I gotta go to Europe.
It's a whole industry,
Wow.
I feel like, on itself. It's like genuinely, like you have people who want to be competition dancers, you have people who just want to be like social dancing stars. You have, it's a whole thing.
Have you met Sunal?
I recognize the name. I feel like we probably have danced.
For Devs, do you know Sunal?
I know him, seen him, but I've never talked to him.
All right. So, Sunal, if you're listening, we love you. You're amazing. And if you don't know, it's okay. Sunal is one of those unsung heroes. He's brought a few artists here through DLX that I know of, and I'm sure he's done a lot more. He also teaches. He's a gentle
I
soul.
know who that is, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like he has
Yeah.
he has a beard. He dances very well. He's like usually wearing an oversized T-shirt.
Yes.
you know, and he's just a beautiful soul and he dances wonderfully. He goes around the world to up level his skills, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I think he's in Germany. Sunal, love you, man. He's supposed to be the one coming on to this podcast.
Yeah, he's in Europe right now.
I believe he is.
Yeah, we're on Instagram.
So he booked a date. Super excited about that because Sunal is one of those people that is like a Gary in the making.
Yeah, so he gets it. He'll understand. Like
he'll understand, and I feel like the more we shout out these type of people,
yeah,
be it Sazan, be it Gary and Maya, be it
yeah,
Sunal, I feel like you know, like what you focus on expands.
No, 1,000%. Yeah.
And it's like, look, we're all human beings. No one's perfect here, right? Like I'm sure there's people out there that hate my guts, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not intending to hurt anybody.
I think this is important. This is important to touch on because I was going to say this earlier when you mentioned like Gary and everybody. I think being forgiving is one of the biggest things that we can be in this life. You know, none of us are perfect.
Yes.
You know.
Cue that song, Forgiveness. You know that song?
No, but I will sing it.
If I put it on YouTube, they're gonna give me a copyright strike.
Okay.
But look up that song, Forgiveness.
I think everybody, you know, makes judgments sometimes, and everybody makes mistakes sometimes, and whether they're mistakes, that's still a judgment. You know what I mean? So I think there's just that we've got to have room for everybody to grow as they're moving through this, and like, you know, all those different things.
I mean, you're so good. You're bringing up all the deep things.
Yeah, and
who knew social dancing could be so deep?
Who knew? Who
Forgiveness,
knew?
Folks.
You know.
All
and
right.
also, like, we're all in this for different reasons. Like, you mentioning all these people, like bringing Sazon on, it's very different to bringing Sunal on, because, and it's very different to bringing, like, I don't know, other people on, because they're different parts of the same industry, you know? Sazon, they're competition dancers, you know, they're competition choreographers, they're, you know, they charge heck loads for their choreographies, they're choreographed dancers, they're incredibly trained, amazing dancers. And then, like I was talking about the social dancing scene in Europe and stuff, it's a very different scene. It's a very different skill. It's a very different like energy. It's very different. Like they all bring something very, very, very different.
Interesting.
And the same with Gary. Like Gary is different to all of those things. You know? Yeah. It's like it's all very different. And
I love it because you bring that unique perspective, right? Having, and even for devs, like people that have traveled or lived in other places and they've done social dancing and then come back. Like, oh, like we were just in Mexico and we were like, wow, social dancing here is so chill. Okay, any given weekend, you're out in the park, kid you not, 200 to 300 dancers. Okay, they have 5 groups, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're all practicing for like, I think they're practicing for an hour, and then the next hour is all like they present what they've done, each group, and everyone's just like around it, like make a semicircle around them, and they're making videos cheering them on, and then group 5 goes last, you know, to inspire everybody. And then the teacher of the group 5, who's from Grupo Esencia, representing all of Mexico, they go on. Oh my God, it's like seeing, I don't want to insult Marco and Sarah, but it's like seeing like the best of the best, you know what I mean? They're really good. And it was a beautiful thing. And then they have social dancing after that in the park. So cool. And people, you know, don't take it the wrong way, but I've heard it from many people. No attitude, right? No girl says no. No guys are being weird.
I've heard this from so many people from Mexico.
Sorry, guys, it has to be said, you know?
Yeah, I've really heard this.
Sorry, Toronto, you know, like...
It's not just Toronto, it's Europe as well. It's everywhere, London, all the things.
Mexico's just so fucking chill.
Yeah.
We were in Guadalajara. We were supposed to meet up with Bruno, but we just missed him.
Yeah.
But guess what? We're dancing, and all of a sudden, this gorgeous European girl comes and asks Sherry to dance. And I'm like, who is that? And she gives her the most amazing follow, right?
Yeah.
Turns out it's Bruno's partner, Tatiana. And it was like, I watched the video, I'm like mesmerized, because, you know, when you have the right follow and you're a lead, you don't have to do much. You just give her space. And Sherry was giving her space. This girl's like doing the booty rolls and everything. And she's just like, I can't even describe with words how beautiful that dance was. But the point being that something about Mexico, people are just so chill. It's not like, oh, I'm better. I've heard from people here, I'm not gonna mention names, but it's like they dance with somebody, not even a star, and they're like, oh, you know, like they think they're doing you a favor by dancing with you. You know what I mean? Like who are you? You know, like who am I even? You know, like we're just human beings, right? And that's what I love about Clau, for example. I love that about Angelica. I love that about Becky. You know, these people are stars in the bachata social dancing world, but they're so loving, so generous, so down to earth. They will make you feel comfortable like this, you know, because can you imagine these people like literally like Lola, if you're Lola Hontus, if you're hearing this, true story. Okay, SBK event this past March, people waiting in line, right? I'm making a video of Lola Hontus dancing with Kenzie, right? Like beautiful dance.
Oh yeah, that's a good dance.
Okay, all of a sudden 10 guys line up. And they're like, I'm first, you're second, you're third, you're fifth, okay? Typical guy stuff, right? And I get it. And this guy, he's like, she's the most beautiful dancer I've ever seen. I'm so nervous, you know? I love it when guys can be vulnerable, you know, just it's a beautiful thing. And I can feel that. And can you imagine as these stars, right? You don't know how long these people have been waiting to see you, you know, or fantasizing their dance with you, you know what I mean? Or
It's true, yeah.
You know what I
for
mean?
them,
That's something that's really unique and special, is it not?
Yeah.
So there's like so much riding on it. And actually, there's a shout out to Lola Hontus, right? Because she said this. She missed a flight.
Yeah.
She says, I was thinking about all my fans.
She said it multiple times across, Lola, I love you, across the weekend, that she was, you know, talking about, you know, making sure she was in the party, making sure she was there, giving her everything. She really understands her duty and what. Let's gonna get into this actually, because for me, sometimes I don't like social dancing because I just don't like being in people's energy sometimes. You know, sometimes I just want to do my dance class and I want to go home, and that's perfectly fine. But I think, you know, one thing that Lola, I will give to her as an artist, she really understands what she's gotten herself into, and she will give. You know, she makes sure that she will give to those dancers because she understands her duty as like this. This beauty on stage that she's put herself as. She's an artist and she's booked there to be there and to dance with you, and she will give you her all, you know, and make you look like you're a star.
When I was dancing with her, the girl winked at me at least 3 times, and I'm just like, she winking at someone else? Oh my God, she's winking at me.
Yeah.
She makes you feel like you're the one, you know, and that's special because it's like, she's doing it out of the beauty of her heart, out of her generosity. She realizes the task, the mission, and she delivers 300%, right?
Yeah, and she's very present, and like she really takes pride in it's like the career choice she made. She made that choice, and
she's not snobby at all.
No, she just really.
She's like, super approachable.
Yeah, she really, really understands the choice that she made in her life, and like every time you go out to a social dance floor, you're making the choice to be there. So it's not, you're not some god that like people should praise for dancing with them.
Although I think Lolita is a god.
But on Lola's side,
as are you.
On Lola's side, like she back to Lola now. Like she really, like, number one, she really understands the duty that she has, but she at the same time, she's an absolute goddess. But from the inside. Yes. You know, like
where it counts most.
Yeah. You know.
Oh my God, that woman made me cry so many times.
What a beautiful.
You witnessed it all.
Did.
Oh my God. I'm not going to go into it because I will cry on camera, and that's not going to be pretty.
But if anyone has the, you know, the honor of, you know, getting to know you, Lola, and dancing with Lola, you'll understand the true meaning of Latin dance, I think. You'll understand the true meaning of what it means to be an artist, what it means to be, because an artistry is not for yourself, it's for again, going back to how you make people feel. You know, your art is for other people. And that woman is the walking embodiment of that. And I think her partner Anna is too. Like,
don't get me started.
We can talk for an hour. I'll just on these two.
We fell in love with both of them.
Maybe we'll invite them both here, and we'll have a nice chat with Anna and Lola.
Yes.
But I will support those two till maybe the day that I die, because those are two of the most beautiful.
She's like an angel. My God.
Beautiful artistic souls that I've ever met in my entire life.
Girl, you were in that room when he was giving a private.
Yes.
And he kept looking over at us with those beady little eyes. You know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
He has these like angel little boy eyes.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, and he's getting his dance just perfect, and he's giving feedback, but he's looking at us, and it's like there's no ego.
I want to just talk about Anna real quick.
Yes,
because
please.
If there was no Anna, there would be no Lola. And if Anna had not believed in himself the way that he does, and taken the hate the way that he does, and taken the feedback, and taken, you know, that man created a genre, you know, and if he didn't...
Tell them, because for the people that don't know, he is the father of
urban
kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you not know that? So we have a girl in the back, shouldn't know. So there we go, educating the people.
I'm like Googling everything.
Yeah,
like,
beautiful human
being. If he had not, and he's a genuinely good person, you know, if he had not believed in himself the way that he does, and taking the beatings the way that he does and continue to push
What do
forward.
you mean taking the beatings? Who beat him up?
Like, as you do when you put yourself out there as an artist, it's people that don't.
And it's a new genre, right?
Yeah, people.
This is not bachata.
There's a lot of people that don't
What
understand what he does. You know, there's a lot of people who don't think that what he does is okay, and there's a lot of. If you just look at his Instagram,
their dances are so hot.
But if there wasn't a Lola, an Enna, if he didn't believe in himself, there would be no Lola.
I still remember watching those videos before they came.
Yes.
I'm like, these guys are god and goddesses. You know, like honestly, the way they dance.
Yeah, and if
the music.
Yeah, and if he hadn't have seen Lola and believed in Lola from day one, we wouldn't have been graced with a Lola contest. Lola's been huge in my dance journey since day one. Like I've always watched her, and it really dawned on me like if when speaking, she was so open about it too. She's so down to earth about her journey. If there was no Enna, we would have no Lola. Wow. So, thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Enna.
Isn't that amazing though? Like, look, here's a man, here's a woman. They're both gorgeous inside and out. Mm-hmm. And they come together and produce this beautiful art that inspires the world. Yeah. It's so beautiful, so amazing.
And so heartfelt and so genuine and so, everything. And the way, I just want to really emphasize as well, the way Lola will treat every single other dancer that she kind of comes into contact with is another beautiful thing. Like the way she made me believe in myself. Aww. And at the time I wasn't even dancing, I was injured. Like, and she sees you for the soul that you are. Like those are the people that we need in the spotlight. We need more Ennas, we need more Lolas, we need more Azadines, we need more people.
Don't get me started.
We could go on for another hour, but I actually have to get to a dance class as well. So.
But now that you brought up that guy, I don't know about you, but when I walk into a room and he's there, I feel peace.
Everybody does.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, everybody does. I had to thank him that
I'm like, who is this
man? For bringing peace to everybody. Azadine, we love you. Please come back.
I can see why Sarah flowers in front of him. I flower in front of him. He's just a beautiful human being.
He's a really soulful, really beautiful. And it's, they all are. They all really are. Enna, Azadine, Lola, like we could name them all. But
there's so many of them.
And it was just an honor. It's just an honor to be around people who take their artistry seriously. And that is how they are impacting the world. It's not about you. Your artistry is not about you. Yes. It's about how you're impacting.
Migle is like that as well.
You can tell by their dancing.
She could be sick as hell, but she will put on whatever she needs to put on a show for everyone. Mm-hmm. Man, these people, Hero and Migle, are committed. All these artists are incredible. Yeah. Girl, you need to get going.
I do. Believe in yourself, guys, because if you didn't listen to that story again, if Enna had not believed in himself, we would not have had Lola that weekend.
Believe in yourself. Forgiveness for others and for yourself.
And the way you make people feel is the most important thing. And thank you, Gary and Maya, for creating this space of love where we can all
love you guys.
Come together.
Catch you on the next one. Let us know what you think.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, share.
And
let
come
us
on
know.
Our podcast.
Yes. This is an open invite.
Okay.
Lots of love. Bye for now. Any given Saturday, Sunday, you go to the park in Mexico City, and I kid you not, 200 to 400.
Hello everyone, please join us in room 101 for the program Chess Club for Adults at 2 p.m. Join us for a friendly game of chess and board games.